What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning into this episode of English Turks, where I review your favorite Turkish series with and without English subtitles. And today, we're talking about Dogdugun as Kaderindir, episode 14. Yo, guys, I literally just finished watching this. Normally, I don't really sit through the monologues that she has. I don't know, I don't sit through them, but this last episode, the monologue at the very end, really gave me this eerie feeling that this is not going to end well. This show, despite everything that's happening and how much we're rooting for them, it's not going to end well, guys. I have a strong feeling. So she, in that last monologue, before I even get to the episode, I just want to kind of talk about that last monologue. She said, "At the wedding, I saw this look in Mehdi's eyes. It reminded me of the look that I used to see in my father's eye, but I ignored it because I fell in love." But at that moment, which she's talking about, the moment where she's in the store and everything, and she sees Mehdi, and Mehdi's yelling at for the guy to come out, she saw the look again, and she realized it was the same. Like, it's something she couldn't ignore anymore. And that scares me because, you know, they always say you'll marry someone who's just like your father or something like that. But, like, that really scared me. That really scared. I feel like this show is not going to end well, and it's going to end sad. And this is why we're constantly seeing these monologues that she's giving. That I said it in the very beginning. I don't remember what YouTube video I said it in, but I said it like, I feel like something bad happened, and that's why she's giving all these explanations. Now, at the beginning of this second season, when I saw her talking to the therapist, I thought that, okay, she was talking to the therapist this whole time in season 1. But now with this final monologue, I think something bad happened. I really do think something bad happened. I don't know what it is, but I feel it. Now let's get into what happened in the episode. This episode was kind of deep, guys, really scary and really deep. So we had ended the last episode with Bana being kidnapped. Now, the way they showed the fragment, it looked like Mehdi got to them before the police did, but no, the police got there first, and Mehdi only got one punch in, left with Bana. Also, in the fragment, they made it seem like they couldn't hear the baby's heartbeat, but that was not true. There's a lot of lies in these fragments. I don't like that. Like, if you're gonna share a fragment, at least share things that actually happened. Don't share things that really didn't happen and then try to make it look like, oh yeah, but because that's like false advertising. I don't like that. But anyway, so nothing happened to the baby. The baby's fine. But like, I was on Zenob's side that whole entire time. I was like, you cannot expect a woman to go through that. Now, Mushke is just a resentful, selfish, I don't want to say it kind of stuff. Like, she needs something to occupy her attention, and I was kind of like happy that her ex was coming back into town. But then, now that I know that the ex was responsible for their father's death, I don't think I'm happy that he's in town, because obviously it's going to make problems worse. I'm so happy that Benel left the house, like, because what Mushka did was just disgusting. Mushka made it worse. She should have just left them alone, but she keeps egging on this thing. Like, every time Zenet comes around, she's saying all this stuff about Banal and the baby. Oh, my baby, my this, my that, da, 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 and just doing all of that, which makes Banal look bad. And so basically, the way it looks, especially when they were having that little gathering outside, it looked like Mehdi had something to do with it, but Mehdi had nothing to do with it. And so I was like, when Zenab went to Sultanam's house, I was like, yes, you need to leave, because like, something's got to give. You're not going to live the rest of your life in the house with this girl while the sister is making it 10 times worse. If the sister wasn't doing all of that, I think Zenab could have probably coped. But because of the sister, I was waiting for Mehdi to be like, yo, you better stop now, which he kind of did at the dinner table, which is really good, because like, she's so nasty, so nasty. I hope she gets a taste of her own medicine, because she is disgusting. made my skin crawl just every time I hear her talk. Like, I wanted to be there and just tell her to shut her mouth and mind her dang business, because I was just over it. Well, but now it's gone. She's living in another house, and I was be like, Mishka, you go to that house too. Just leave. I mean, if she's all alone and stuff, then you don't need to be here. Just go to that house. I mean, what's keeping you here? Nothing, except for the house itself. Your sisters and everything are old enough. Now, Jamile, the other sister, OMG, guys, like, she wants new. She wants him. Like, it was never more apparent than this episode. Her longing looks to him, and it looks like Newsmind is slowly but surely just changing. He's starting to see her in a new light every time they say new beginnings and all of that. So I'm really hoping that something does happen between them. But it could just be a facade and nothing actually does happen. Who knows? We haven't seen her other daughter. I wonder where she is. Did she go to college? Because I could have sworn, like, when she got into college, she would be living in the upstairs room, but I didn't see her at all in this episode. I don't know what happened. Did they say she left for college? Did anybody hear that? I don't know. If you do know, let me know in the comments, because I would like to know myself. But yeah, besides those things happening, the other major stuff happening in this episode was revolving around Emine and basically her relationship with Farouk. Farouk is treating her like a mistress, like she has become the mistress of the household, and putting her in another house and doing all these different things. Like, I can understand Emine on one side because Farouk is really on a tight bend, and I like what Farouk said. Farouk said, I wasn't raised to learn how to survive on my own. I need money to survive. Otherwise, like, I'm going to be useless to you, because everything that I do it on the basis of the money that I have. And if I don't have that, then I'm going to be stuck with nothing. And so he's basically begging Emine to give him this opportunity to get over this thing that his father's trying to put him through, put on this facade for everybody to think that he's with this other girl, but really he wants to be with Emine, and then he proposes to Emine. So I can understand all of that. And what Farouk says is not a lie. He's not going to be able to, he's not going to come out and work hard and it's not in him. So I'm glad that he acknowledges that about himself, and he was truthful with her about that. And I'm actually glad that she did her research and figured out what was going on, because it would have been 10 times worse if she didn't. But I also agree with her mother, and I agree with Demet when they say, like, this is not, you don't want to be the mistress. And at the end of the day, like, do you think he's ever really going to be able to come out? Like, how long is it going to take him to prove to his father so that he can take over the business and his father step down and then have that opportunity to be with her? Who knows how long that man's going to want to stay in the business? Like, and things are moving so fast between him and this new girl that he's already, like, proposing to her and stuff like that. Now, she's found Emine and she's gone to Emine, and we dropped this episode with her asking Emine who she is, and I felt so bad for Emine in that moment, because I mean, like, dang, how shameful does that feel? Man, I know Gemini would never want that. I mean, I'm saying Gemini, but I'm saying Emine, I know she would never want that for herself. And that had to be super embarrassing. It looks like in the fragment she's going to go back home. And so we'll see what happens, whether she does go back home or not. Who knows? Probably not, because their fragments have no truth to them anyway. It's just a bunch of lies. Nothing is as it seems in the fragment. It made it look like Zeynep was leaving. It made it look like Banal lost the baby. It made it look like they couldn't come back from that, and none of that happened. So I don't know. I was kind of shocked to see that Zeynep went back into her old bedroom, but she said she's erasing the past. And honestly, you need to make your wife happy. So I'm glad that he finally stood up for Zeynep in that moment and shut everybody down. The threat is gone, but now it doesn't need to live here, like, period. So we'll see what happens in the next episode. I really like this episode, and hopefully, the views and the ratings will stay up so that the show doesn't get canceled anytime. I don't think it's going to get canceled anytime soon. I think it'll keep its ratings and it'll stay in the high fours. And maybe there's so many shows coming out, so who knows. But Zeynep is too much, and Ibrahim, they're both, like, really, like, well-known actors and people want to see what they're in. So, I doubt that it'll be canceled anytime soon. I think it'll keep going. You guys let me know what you think about the show in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. And if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube. And I will talk to you guys in the next podcast.